What is going on, guys? Marcus here with the Reformation Woodshop. We are back out at this monastery, and today I'm going to be framing in some partitions for this chapel. So I'm adding a bit of a partition here for the middle of the room. It's going to have prayer kneelers at it. This partition is going to be crafted out of alder, but first I'm going to break down all of this dimensional lumber, get it set so it can be the bones that I lay all of my decorative pieces on top of.
I'm really hungry.
Me too.
I just said that on video.
All right, so I framed this guy up. This is going to be the board that attaches to the floor. This will mount directly on top of that. That's why there's a little bit of a difference there, because it's going to sit on there. And then I'll have a runner right down the middle. And then all of this is going to get trimmed out with alder. It will not be pine because that would be ugly. Pro tip, if you're worried about working on the weekends and you're sad that you're going to miss your kids, just bring them.
To make sure everything was perfectly square, Colby and I measured from that back wall at every point possible and then marked a line on the floor with where exactly I wanted it to start. To ensure that this thing was rock solid and would never go anywhere, I used this nail gun to secure the 2x6 that I was going to be building on top of. After that, I went and set the bones to this partition on top of that secure board to make sure that everything fit nice and snug. It may not be the most precise because I got these boards from Lowe's, but I used one long 2x6 to line these two partitions up with each other to make sure that they were at least straight according to my eyeball.
Now, in order to maintain some squareness here, I measured 15 foot 5 inches from the wall. I'm going to measure 15 foot and 5 inches from that wall to this top corner, secure it there, making sure that that piece of dimensional lumber is square, this one as well. And then after that, I'll measure and make sure that these two guys are level with each other. That way everything in here is as square as possible.
Everything is perfect and in place, and the next time I come out here, I'm going to be coming out with all of my decorative touches that make this thing look poppin'. Day 2 of this project, I milled up every single piece of alder that I would need to wrap every square inch of my dimensional lumber. For joinery, I'm using pocket holes on all of my pieces, and I'm going to build these like I would build a standard cabinet.
All right, so initially my thought was to take these panels here out to the chapel, slap them onto the dimensional lumber, and then trim it out as it sat. But I decided to go ahead and slap the trim, the inside trim, onto the inside of my panels. And then when I go out there, I'll just put the back piece on this piece, and most of my work is already done here.
Day 3 on this project meant seeing if everything that I had built in the shop would fit when I took it out to the monastery. And it did, with a little bit of love and caressing from my hammer. Obviously, when things go smoothly, you gotta do your happy dance. All that was left to do was nail the back right in place.
All right, so here she is all strapped up. I used some scrap 2x6s so that I didn't damage any of the alder. But it is looking good, and it is incredibly solid. After putting these two pieces together, I capped off this end. That way it looks like one solid piece now. You see no dimensional lumber. And in order to hide the fact that it is dimensional lumber, the last thing I need to do is add a top cap here. And it'll be done.
One of the things that's going to make this partition pop is that I actually made these cool custom balusters for it. I laser engraved a cross right in the center, and then using my router, I'm adding a nice little detail. That way it's not just so square and blocky. The way that I'm making sure that you don't see any fasteners, with my first face boards, I'm pocket holing them directly in the center where they belong. And then on the back, I'm taking a matching board, gluing it and clamping it up really tight. That way there's no fasteners visible at all.
All right, everything is clamped up. All of my holes are puttied. While the clamps hold the glue, I'm gonna go ahead and sand for probably the next hour and make everything look pretty.
That's all I'm going to be doing for today's visit, but the next item on the list is a custom gate that I'm designing myself and prayer kneelers for right in front of this partition. When it came to the prayer kneelers, they were just some rectangular boxes with an upholstered top. Nothing too complicated. I did put them in place and make sure they went with the partition really well, and then I took a moment to thank the Lord that everything looked good. To get the shape of my doors, I made 2 jigs. First, I cut this rectangle out, and then to get that oval shape at the top, I used the age-old bow and arrow method. And then I attached it to the side, went corner to corner there, and then just traced it on. And once I had this jig perfect, I traced it onto both of my doors so I could cut, sand, and shape it to be exactly the same. This gate is sort of out of my wheelhouse. I've never done anything like it before, but I just used mortise and tenon joinery, used a wide enough board that I could arch the top of this, making it a sort of a dome look on the door, clamped it all up, and then once the glue dried, I cut and sanded these to perfection. And finally, the last thing I needed to do was hang these doors. I designed these doors, and none of the people that paid me to design them have seen them. And I made these prayer kneelers, and they've not seen them either. And there are some design choices that have been made that, if you're picky, you know, might be a problem. So, organizing. As I hold them up together, you can finally see what I was going for in the design. This is my first time doing anything like this, so let me know if it was a hit or miss in the comment section, because I'm still undecided. I like them, but they could probably be better, in my opinion. All right, so this door is fully attached where it belongs. And that one is clamped on, and I'm going to hang it based off of that door so that everything looks square. The golden rule of YouTube woodworking is if it looks square, it is square. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't really talk to the monks about the design. While I was in the middle of adding the last screws to these doors, the monks decided to pop in, and thankfully, they loved everything that I had added. They did tell me they wanted a little latch on the back, so I did that. I came back to add this hardware here on the doors, and look at the floor! They had somebody come in and tile while I was out, and it looks fantastic. The last thing I need to do to finish this guy off is add these pieces of trim to the wall just to hide the gap, because this room happened to not be so square, and we found that out on several different projects. If you made it this far, you deserve a bit of honesty from me. This is not one of those videos that is going to be a viral video, and I know that. This video will not pay the bills for me this month, but this is me documenting something that I'm extremely proud of working on, and so I really appreciate you watching. I'd love to hear what you think about this project in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully that one will go viral. If you watched this video and thought to yourself, man, that was so good, how can I give this guy money to repay him? Then you're in luck. I have a lot of stuff listed on my Etsy store that you can buy to support the channel, so head on over to reformationwoodshop.etsy.com to grab something.